Yeah, brothers. Just like I was saying, as far as nobody not riding down, and then I went to Steve Harvey, and but let's talk about Ray Lewis, same way. Now a lot of people don't know that this motherfucking faggot, when he was at the University of Miami, you know, he killed he stabbed and murdered his first little lover, little young brother that was in the dorm with him. And what the university did, it was never publicized or never released. It went down as a something more like a break-in into the frat house and an unsolved murder, because they knew this faggot was gonna be a meal ticket and he was going to the NFL. So this motherfucker, he got away with that. Then he goes to the NFL. He goes with the Ravens. And see, behavior don't lie. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And so what happened was the same behaviors kicked up. He met another little young motherfucking punk, and they were in the club in in Atlanta, at a Super Bowl party, and some shit erupted, some old jealous rage shit, probably because the guy probably was looking at another man or some shit, and Ray Lewis ended up with another motherfucking homicide. It is not no coincidence that the homicide was another motherfucking stabbing. But this time 2 people were stabbed. Ray Lewis again. He gets off, and then he plays this motherfucking, this old born again Christian bullshit. Which he really mentally, kissed a lot of ass and ate and was biting balls. The whole 17 years he was with the Ravens. Then he retires. Now one thing I won't take from that faggot is he was a hell of a motherfucking athlete. He was a hell of a player on that field. However, he was a gump. So he retires. Then he starts he starts commentating. He gets on there and said some old white supremacist shit about the brother Colin Kaepernick when he refused to stand up for that motherfucking national anthem, which is some motherfucking bullshit. All it's about is a national anthem, just like the pledging allegiance, to the flag, one nation under the devil and all this shit, and so he said some old white boy shit, to about Colin Kaepernick, and but I give a shout out to brother Shannon Sharp. Cause Shannon Sharp cutting to his motherfucking faggot ass on national television, But that just goes to show you, and Ray Lewis, is a boule. He's a motherfucker, one of them alphas or whatever, one of them motherfuckers. He's in one of them fraternities, that boule shit, you know what I'm saying? So, that just goes to show you, how these motherfuckers maneuver. Steve Harvey, even Ricky Smiley, all these motherfuckers are part of that motherfucking, that boule. That fraternity shit, Roland Martin, all these motherfuckers. Even Dick Gregory is a motherfucking alpha. And he been with his wife forever, and he won't even reveal to her the motherfucking handshake, the secret, so-called secret handshake that the alphas have. So that lets me know that his motherfucking allegiance to these motherfucking niggas outside of his queen is more important. Than sharing his innermost thoughts and secrets and behaviors with his motherfucking queen. And why hasn't it been a hit on Dick Gregory? If he's supposed to be so radical and he talks all this motherfucking, this black power shit. And I'll tell you why, cause he plays the 50. See, just like a lot of these motherfuckers do that. When they are when they have a black power or black consciousness setting, when they are in one of those settings and then they go hard. They ride hard on the motherfucking cracker. But then when they're around the cracker, it's their motherfucking dialogue and diction. All that shit is totally the opposite of motherfucking black consciousness. And see, we're not paying attention to this shit. Because we're so caught up in emotionalism and sensationalism that we don't see the principle, major principle things that these motherfuckers do that are gatekeepers to white supremacy. And that's what they are. They are gatekeepers, like the Gargoyle, and they're gatekeepers. And what they do is they stand and they guard white supremacy, and they keep blacks at a subordinate level, specifically and especially the lower class and poor, melanated brothers and sisters. But we have to understand, that this shit, this shit is detrimental to our growth and development and to our liberation. And the same thing as what Nat Turner had to do. During his insurrection, he had to knock off the motherfucking house niggas first. He had to get past them. Those Samuel L. Jacksons and Django, them type of motherfuckers. And you have the same energy that some of these niggas carry, that same energy today. And it's so many. I can't even begin to start naming these motherfuckers because there's so many of them. Ben Carson, Skip Gates, fucking Al Sharpton. This motherfucker still wearing a woman's perm in his head like a motherfucking queen. Nobody says nothing. That's not his motherfucking natural goddamn braid of hair. Because that's self-hatred. He can't stand his natural motherfucking hair or his natural self. That's why he looks like an old bitch. An old wrinkled motherfucking bitch. And that comes from, playing the 50, weighing wise for the motherfucking FBI to bring down the motherfucking Gambino family, and every time and that's what they do to these motherfucking factions. They gauge them. See, they'll let them holler no justice, no peace shit for a while, but if they do that shit too long or go overboard with their dialogue, and what they'll do, they'll bring that shit up. They'll put on the news, when these motherfuckers made these drug transactions or, fucking with kids or raping and, whatever their motherfucking transgressions are, they're nationally televised as a reminder to tell these niggas, sit your motherfucking ass down. And that's why, the real, true, conscious revolutionaries and the radicals, the real radicals, you don't even know exist. These are the brothers and sisters that you never even heard of. But these ones that are so commercial, that go around talking all this shit about other groups and other religions and all this shit, they're not gonna do nothing. They haven't put any work in terms of liberating and salvating our people, man. Nothing. You can't name nothing that they've done, other than holler at somebody that look like them. That's the same thing I was saying about George Zimmerman. You motherfuckers, Rick Ross and all y'all motherfuckers, y'all ride down on these people and your own people, but when it comes to the real motherfucking enemy, you don't do nothing to them. And Rick Ross, I don't really fault him because for real, he's no motherfucking gangster by a long shot. He's an ex-correctional officer, and I'll tell you this. If he goes out of style and his career flops, and he becomes financially motherfucking crippled, he'll go back to being a correctional officer. I guarantee you that. He'll go right back to locking brothers in their cells. I don't see how y'all can, constantly give these motherfuckers passes, man. You know, it just doesn't add up to me. But the real G's, and I take my hat off to y'all. Young Pharaoh, Seti, Brother Ali, Blue and Red Pill, Mama Pill. Those people like that. Brother Dawa Israel. And my one of the newest brothers, Street Law brothers, brother Hebrew, and other radicals and revolutionaries, that have a high level of intelligence as well as black consciousness. They're clear about what's going on, but a lot of them, like I said, you never heard of them, because you got so many people that has become, wireless, mouse clicking faggots, and all, they're gangsters when it comes to a keyboard, and that's it. They ain't gonna go no further than that, and I done seen a lot of queens, rising up, above their conditions, above their situations, and it appears that it's more conscious queens that are riding, than the brothers, and I could be wrong, but I'm just basing it on what I see, even in social media and on the streets, because you still have some of the elders still, pushing, and still out here putting in work instead of passing the torch to some of this young blood, because these elders got to remember, torches were handed to them, when they were young, in their prime, when they put their best work in. And it's not going to go unnoticed or unforgotten, but you got to pass the dice. Let some of these real 19 and 20 and 21, 31, 41, 51. Put them to work. Let them go ahead. The ones that have been studying, doing research, and they just need an opportunity to have an impact on the masses. Allow them the opportunity, to put in some work. Because a lot of them about that life when it comes to salvation and liberation. But once again, a lot of y'all not. Until it comes to somebody that look like you, you'll ride down on them, you want to debate them, you want to crush them, you call the police on, you call it parole and probation officers on motherfuckers, all this goddamn Donnie Brasco ass shit, this motherfucking informant bullshit, because shit don't go your way. And young motherfuckers are rising up. Instead of you listening, you trying to combat these motherfuckers. A lot of y'all, when y'all, this is, now it's AD after the destruction, of crack cocaine and heroin. But where were you at when it was your turn to shine when you was 19 and 20? You either locked up or strung the fuck out or in church, walking around like a goddamn zombie. So it's time for you to, let that shit go and let some of these young motherfuckers go ahead and put some work in. Because it's not hard. Put your motherfucking pride to the side. And stop bullshitting. And just like in the church, man. These motherfucking, pastors and motherfuckers 80 years old, still preaching, can barely talk. Motherfucking Adam's apple look like a fucking tennis ball. You got fucking chicken meat around your goddamn neck. You've been preaching for 60 years. Let somebody else preach. Let some of these young motherfuckers preach. That's why they don't come in their goddamn church. Then you're singing an old ass slave shit. Them fucking, let us get off the plantation hymnals and shit. And it just pushes the motherfucking babies away from y'all. The goddamn pew smell like fucking Bengay. then you got these old big hat wearing motherfucking sisters, these elders, you know, the goddamn hat look like a fucking tent, you know, you can barely hold your goddamn head up, you know, you hollering hallelujah with a fucking pamp on, you know, dancing in the middle of the aisle. Teach some of these young queens, you know, how to come into womanhood. Cause they see that shit, and then when you leave there, you go play a rack of goddamn numbers, you know, in the name of fucking Jesus. You know, it's the shit is sad. And finally, I seen motherfucking amigos, motherfucking Latinos. Now they out there with cups, bombing chains, and all this shit. You know, but I seen one get arrested. The motherfucking redneck police arrested him. You know, and now this is what happened. This motherfucker out there hollering, "Oh, Jesus Christ, oh Lord, I ain't legal, please, please, please." All this bullshit. You know, the cracker ain't kidding nothing about that, cause he looked at him as a white nigga. You know. But then black people, it was some elders out there. Oh, that don't make no sense. He ain't do nothing. All he was doing was getting some change and shit. But they filled his motherfucking pockets up with change. But the brother that was out there, he was at the McDonald's by the drive-in where you order with a speaker. They went on the speaker, told him get the fuck out the drive-in lane and shit. You know, and they said nothing to this Latino motherfucker. And see, that's just that self-hating, you know, that Tom and bullshit, man. You know, I don't feel sorry for them. You know, because Trump is going to put that motherfucking wall up and he's going to privatize these banks. And, you know, two things that he'll probably do in terms of doing something for blacks for two reasons. To make Obama look like some shit, you know, and cause they don't get along in real, and you know, behind the scenes, number one, and number two, to ensure that black people would never vote for anybody of color again for the way Obama treated them, you know, and he's either gonna do it that way or he's not gonna do shit. And then every time you start yelling and screaming and crying about racism and all this shit, well, you know, and he's gonna say you didn't hold the nigga accountable, so you can't hold me accountable. You know, so you know the decision, you know, to link up, you know, and give up the shit, you know, and the way that we can overcome and have our salvation is that we have to link up, give up all this motherfucking world, these material shit, you know, these cars, these motherfucking outfits, and all this old unnecessary bullshit, you know. And that's one thing. All other races, you don't never see them, you know, the worst, the people that are worse off dress the best. That's why when you go, you can tell a motherfucking nigga that don't have nothing, cause he draped up in jewelry and all this shit. That's the motherfucker that's broke. You know, because he want to give the impression that he had something, and he doesn't. You'll see a cracker with a pair of jeans, old ass jeans on, some moccasin shoes, and a little tight ass t-shirt, and no cash. This motherfucker's a multi-millionaire. You know, they on missions. They're about economics. You know, they're passing shit down to generation to generation. You know, what we do with our wealth, you know, just like this Sunday, Super Bowl. A lot of motherfuckers gonna blow their whole checks on the Super Bowl. You know, and then next month, you know, be walking around the house with candles, cause you bought motherfucking hot wings and goddamn beer, you know, with the electric bill money. You know, those are just examples of the fucking, you know, idiocy and idiot ass shit and stupidity, you know, that a lot of our people engage in. That type of motherfucking thinking, man. You know, so, like I said, you know, I'm back. You I'm gonna be coming, like I said, this, 2017, 5217 ain't gonna be no joke. That's just how it is, and I'm gonna be back with y'all. I'm gonna come with some, every other day or every day or every time I run across some shit that's going on and I got some things that I want to share with y'all. I'm gonna be bringing it to y'all. Until tomorrow, peace, Black Power.